Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. Watch out there now. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite. And I miss y'all, too. I know it's Memorial Weekend and came and went, and it felt like I've been going for a while, but we're back in the saddle here at the Loyola Studios, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge's 104.5 FM. Dial their YouTube. Hey, this has been a fun ride, and we're going to keep this thing going because it's officially summertime. Chris, what you know about that? Look, now we usually have CL NOLA in this slide, and we usually have our student co-host Chris over there, but
yes.
CL NOLA out of town, so, you know, little Chris in the seat.
Yes, the younger Chris is right here in the seat today. Sorry, CL, but maybe next week, dude.
There you go, maybe next week. So how was your weekend, man? Pretty good?
Yes, it was pretty good. Spent a little time in Baton Rouge for a little bit, and that was really it.
Yeah, so you said you ran into Drew Brees out there in BR.
Yes, I did. So they were celebrating the opening for Dick's Sporting Goods, Marlon, Louisiana. And he just happened to be up there taking pictures with fans and things of that nature. And I wanted to take a picture too, you know, because he's one of my, I'm not going to say one of, he is my favorite sports athlete.
So you
of all
took a
time.
picture too?
I wanted to, but the line was so long.
Kind of long, right?
Yeah, so I couldn't really get a chance. But I have some pictures on my phone, though.
Yes, indeed. Well, we won't particularly be talking about Drew Brees today, but we will talk about the Saints later on in segment 3. We have a jam-packed show for y'all today. For our segment 1, we're going to get into 5 with Fave. I'm going to look at 5 of the top stories around the world of sports. We're going to dive into that a little bit. And for segment 2, y'all have heard of our new sponsor. That's right, baby, Health Nut System. Well, Dr. Kendra Andrews is going to join us to talk about summer weight loss and some programs we have with the athletes. I have my own testimony, so I can't wait to get her in and talk with us. And then Mario Jerez is going to join us a little later. Mario's going to come and sit next with me and Chris, and we're going to talk Saints. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL. We're going to spend a little time talking about LSU baseball and football, so I can't wait for segment 3. And for segment 4, y'all know we love to talk entertainment on this show. We'll be joined by No Limit's very own Mac. We're going to talk to Mac. Came on the show about 2 years ago, so it's been a while since we caught up with Mac. We're going to talk about some of the things he got going on, shows and, upcoming music. So I can't wait to get into that. Well, without further ado, let's get into 5 with Fave. Now, I've done this before on little short videos and on my Instagram. And it's something Chris, I hadn't had a chance to be consistent with. So, maybe after this summer going into football season, we may do more of these. But, hey, we're going to pop up with a few of these this summer. So, of course, I like to relive my hoop dreams during this time of the year. This is one of my favorite times to watch NBA basketball, and the Indiana Pacers and the Thunder this Thursday in the NBA, baby. We're going to have ourselves a finals. And listen, Chris, this is what I can – my bad. This is what I can appreciate. Chris, hold on. Don't kick me over, big dog. This is what I can appreciate about this final. We used to seeing the Lakers or the Celtics. Oh, and the Heat's going again. And it's usually your usual suspects. But now we have OKC, a team that last year we thought was going to be able to make a push. I thought that SGA had a phenomenal season.
Absolutely.
And then on the Eastern side, we have the Pacers, who I felt like was consistent throughout the play-in and throughout the playoffs. You got Tyler Halliburton being a megastar for them and different things that they're able to do. But, Chris, I want to, dive into what got both of these teams here. I know we had a Timberwolves team that we felt like he shut down the Lakers and was walking around the Staples Center getting this, his celebrity on, and he got humbled, in the conference championship. So just talk to us about what it was for OKC to get to this point.
Man, OKC, they just proved to the whole wide world why they are the best team in the NBA. They won 68 games, number 1 in the NBA, best record in the NBA. They have a phenomenal defense. They have some dogs on defense. They have Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, SGA, not a bad defender, Chet Holmgren, great rim protector, and great coach by Mark Dagnall. I think that's his name. And I think they could shoot the ball as well. Lou Dort, SGA, he could score in bunches. He led the league in scoring, and that's what carried them to the finals, especially in that Timberwolves series. Played excellent defense, shot the ball decent enough to win, and SGA, when they got fouled, go to the free throw line, make your free throw shots, or make some tough layups, and that's what he did.
No, yeah, and he did, and the whole time I'm watching this series, I'm like, man, this dude is little bitty, man. Why y'all not playing big ball with him? But he really dominated and did it for his team. And you bring up guys like Holmgren, who was able to not only be that big man presence that they needed, but just to be able to fit within their equation is to like, as you mentioned, very impressive to watch in a competitive West.
Yes.
We were talking about teams the whole season, like the Lakers and, what they're able to put together in Houston. Houston was making a really good push towards, after the All-Star. So that another usual suspect, a name that you would usually hear pop up, Houston. But just thinking about matchups before we get into the matchups of the new series, we have to address the East.
Yes.
And this is the most action we've seen on the East from these teams in a very long time. When I start thinking of Indiana Pacers, when I start thinking of the New York Knicks, it brings me back to the Allen Houston days, Patrick Ewing with the Knicks, and they were a dominant team. Spike Lee dropping all these great 90s hits, movies, and on the sideline, on the court side,
Talking trash to Reggie Miller and
you
stuff.
better believe it. Reggie Miller, you bring it over to the Pacers, his ability to shoot threes and, what those teams were able to do. So this is the first time we've seen these teams in a long time be productive. So that's something good to see out of the East. Yep. Now, let's get to what we're waiting for this Thursday. And Game 1, again, kicks off this Thursday. Check your local listings. I know TNT has it. If you have NBA TV, whomever you're watching your programming through, they'll have that information. But I want to kind of dive into some key matchups here. And this is just topic 1. We got a couple more. We got 4 more topics. This is 5 with Fave. And this segment is actually brought to them by Conquer Sports. Conquer Sports Ballers, baby. Y'all be sure to check out Conquer Sports on Instagram, Facebook. We're having a Conquer Sports summer camp for linemen right here in the New Orleans area. So if you're in New Orleans and surrounding area, feel free to sign up for it. If you go to my Instagram right now, the information is there. It's Conquer Sports Lineman, Conquer Sports Lineman Camps 2025. All the information is below for it, and if you go to my stories, it's there. But at Big Fave 504. But I'm excited about the camp because the student athletes, Chris, are going to get an opportunity not only to get better technique-wise and learn some pass rush moves, but also mentally prepare for the season and for the summer. A lot of our student athletes, they do go out to different football camps for the different schools, whether it's LSU, down in Nicholls State. There's tons of camps, so we try to utilize that. So big ups to Conquer Sports Pros for segment 1's 5 with Fave, baby. We talked about how important these key matchups are going to be. Haldegren and Pascal Siakam did it again. Siakam, Siakam was really a force to reckon with in that Eastern Conference Championship. I'm talking about three-pointers in the speed and the pace of that Indiana Pacers team, no pun intended, played a major role. So when you think of Pascal Siakam and Chet Holmgren, what are some of the things you think about? Are these guys going to be key baseline players? Who you think has the upper hand? This is a key matchup, huh, Chris?
Yes. Offensively, I think the matchup will slightly go with Pascal Siakam for sure. I definitely think he could shoot the ball better when hot. And scoring can go either way, but if I need somebody to give me a bucket, I'm taking Pascal Siakam offensively. But defensively, I could say Chet Holmgren is a better defender for sure because the way he could contest shots, block shots in the paint, and things of that nature, I will give the defensive edge to Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, Chet Holmgren, and I look at experience with both of those guys too.
Absolutely.
Holmgren has been deep in the wait, did they go to no, this was the conference championship. They never went to the NBA championship.
Yeah.
But Siakam has.
Yeah, he has a ring.
He has a ring. So
Correct.
that familiarity matters. Now, when you start talking about more of your 1 and your 2 positions, I would be remiss not to mention these two guys, SGA. You know, the MVP of the league, just being able to be a general out on the court, and then Tyrese Holdenburton, who is laughing all the time. He's very charismatic, but a key player. He's an attack guy. So I guess, obviously SGA has something, but you have to say Holdenburton has really been a rising star. Like he's been good all year, but he legit had this Pacers team on his back, going through a brutal New York. New York was bringing. They were playing physical throughout the whole series. What you think about these two guys in this upcoming matchup?
SGA and Tyrese Halliburton?
Absolutely. I said doodly. Absolutely.
Yes. I think these two players, all playoffs long, and you can argue all season long, they have been the two best point guards in the NBA. The way SGA can score in bunches, lead the league in scoring, can create a bunch of foul calls, and Tyrese Halliburton with his playmaking ability, his ability to get his teammates involved, the ability to have his teammates create good shots, open shots, makeable shots for them to cash in, and I think he is just like the key vocal point of the Pacers offense for sure.
Well, y'all let us know what y'all think. Y'all can hit us up right now on the ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube page. Feel free to comment. Let us know who you have. You think OKC is going to win this thing? You think the Pacers are going to win it? Game 1 is coming up here this Thursday. Check your local listings. I want to say TNT, NBA TV, I got Hulu TV me, so I ain't missing it. Who you got though, Chris? Like, I mean, obviously this is before the series, and both teams are coming into this finals series hot. Who you think gonna pull it off?
Both of these teams are great. Both of these teams absolutely deserve the right to be in the NBA Finals. But if I have to pick a winner, I will go with the Thunder, only because I think the Pacers have a great offense, and they definitely have a great enough offense to beat the Thunder's defense, or at least, make it hard for the Thunder's defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think the Thunder, they're a little bit of a more deeper team, and I just feel like, I just think the Thunder's defense is a little bit better than the Pacers' defense, and the Thunder's offense can literally it could be just as good as the Pacers' offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that combination, I'll give the slight edge to the Thunder. For sure.
I think the Thunder is probably going to win this in 5. I mean,
Yeah,
the powers that be
sure.
might want to see 6 games, but I think when you look at just the pace and the chemistry of this team, and not
Absolutely.
taking anything from Pascal or, what how Holdenberg was able to do, and I do think that's why I say 5 to 6 games, but the way that OKC just shut the Timberwolves down, and I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
shut them down that last game. They're going in with a lot of firepower.
Absolutely.
They are a team that has a little more rest. I know in football that means a lot to have bye weeks and stuff like that, but they, took them out in 5, so that will be interesting. So for 5 with Fave Part 2, or Topic 2, should I say, LSU Shreveport goes undefeated and wins the NAIA National Champion. This is the first team in college baseball history to go undefeated in the season. ESPN reports they finished 59-0. Perfect season, ending it with a 13-7 win over Southeastern Florida on Friday night, and this gave a 10,000 student in attendance from Louisiana to attend this particular deal, and something for them to be proud of. The article goes on and says, for 25 years, LSU Shreveport has been one of the top programs in the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, which governs sports at 241 small colleges across the country. Now, it's ironic, or should I say, isn't it ironic? You might not remember that song, let's go back. That we're talking about this in Conquer Sports have this segment. Listen, man, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this process for student athletes right now, and it's so tough for them to choose where to go, what schools may be the best fit. But when you think about programs like this, my question to you, what does this mean for the smaller athletic schools, not only here in Louisiana, but throughout the country? Do you see more, this was big national news. Do you see more athletes saying, you know what, I love the idea of playing for a big Power 5 school like LSU, Florida State, or you have these opportunities where you can win big-time games, get professional looks from the smaller schools?
Yes. And I think playing at smaller colleges, I definitely think it could be a good opportunity for athletes to show out their talents and what they could do in big game situational awareness. And if it all plans out good for them, then maybe potentially they could be able to transfer to a bigger school, or maybe, find a way to be in a professional league. So I do think it is a benefit for athletes to go to smaller colleges if they couldn't find big offers right away.
Straight up. And I tell our players that all the time. Listen, you have a set of guys that's going to get what was now Power 4, used to be Power 5 schools, hitting them up. But here you have a school in LSU Shreveport that goes undefeated, makes college football history. This is big for not only, in my opinion, those guys being part of history, but this could definitely shift the recruiting pipelines. I think with this big accomplishment, at least starting off on baseball, football, and you may have more I mean, with the transfer portal, and I mean, a lot of these guys that won this championship's going to get looks from bigger schools, so they may end up not being at LSU Shreveport no more, just for that simple fact. Let's move on to topic 3, and if y'all are just tuning in, you're watching Inside the Trenches with your host, yours truly, Marlon, Big Favorite, and this is my co-host, our student co-host, my man Chris. I don't want to keep on talking about your cousins. I don't know if they're the cousins. Chris Ponce, like the Ponce twins from Florida, offensive lineman. It's Inside the Trenches, so I got to pull that on in there. But he's here, is going to his senior year here at Loyola, and man's walking in his purpose, definitely getting his reps as a broadcaster. So, topic 3, Coach Kelly feels like, this is LSU's head football coach, my guy, that this is the best roster yet. Now, Coach Kelly is going into now his 4th season, if I'm not mistaken, here at LSU. It's 22, 23, 24, 25. It's 4th season coming here at LSU. And he feels that this is his best roster thus far. Now, you have returning starters, guys like Ashton Stamps, Gary Nussmeier, quarterback, and, of course, Aaron Anderson, 2 West Bank boys, right, Stamps and Anderson, representing.
Ooh, shout out to the West Bank.
Hello, somebody.
West Bank, the best bank.
You know it. You better believe it. So, these guys are returning starters. You do have some key additions to the roster through the portal. They were able to get some guys like Fat Payson, wide receiver, Destin. I always call him Fat. That's what we call him in the hood. But, he transfers over. So you do have young depth, young experienced depth. The wide receiving core, Chris, let's just talk about that for a second.
It's crazy.
4.34 is like the average speed. It's moving.
My goodness.
So you do have a team that is already lined up to be one of the top receiving cores, the fastest receiving core that you could potentially look into. So I guess talk to our viewers about your thoughts on, not only just the speed at wide receiver, but you have a quarterback that's up for the Heisman, and that's
Man, I am definitely excited to see how this LSU offense will go this year. And like you said, they have a experienced quarterback coming back in Garrett Nussmeier. I think he should, if all things considered, if everything goes well, I think he should be the best quarterback in the SEC this year. And maybe should be one of the best quarterbacks in college football, if not the best quarterback in college football. And then, like you said, he has a ton of great receivers and fast receivers too. Xavier Thomas, Aaron Anderson. They had another transfer from Kentucky. He's pretty good as well. They talk about he could be the next Kyron Lacey or something like that. We'll see. I'm definitely excited about this LSU receiving core and LSU offense, and not only the offense. I'm excited about the team, honestly.
I am. I really am excited. I'm going into my 9th season with LSU Sports Radio. My dream job, something I love doing each year, and I'm looking at this. This schedule. It's going to be a competitive schedule. Of course, I think we do go to Alabama.
Correct.
We play Clemson in the opener. Coach Kelly hadn't won the opener yet, so this is going to be something that's important for him to accomplish. Let's go and move on to topic 4 and 5 with Fave. And I have to talk about the offensive line and Pro Football Focus ranked their defensive tackles. And I have to agree with this list. I mean, I would probably add a few guys in a bit differently. But they started to rank their top interior linemen. You have at the top of this, if you have Chris Jones. I mean, it don't really get too much better than that. Quinn Williams, I interviewed him some years back as he was, I want to say that was his rookie year in the NFL. He dominated right away. Dexter Lawrence is on this list. They have Byron Murphy on this list going into his 2nd year with Seattle. And then, I mean, there's no argument with Jordan Davis, what he's able to do for the Eagles. Chris, the Kansas City Chiefs took on the Eagles. You have 2 dominating fronts. One on the losing side, you have Chris Jones, who was arguably the best D tackle last season. But that Philadelphia D-line, they just really set the bar. They really did. What you think about? I know you probably not too much of a trench guy. You know, you're more slender like the receivers. But what you think about these interior lineman rankings?
Man, okay. I definitely would say Chris Jones. As of right now, I think he is the premier D tackle of the NFL right now. Definitely the best D tackle in the NFL. Jordan Davis, he is pretty great too. I've been
he's
watching
good.
him since he was in Georgia. My goodness, all them national championships he won with Georgia, and then I see Cam Hayward up there. He's pretty underrated as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Cam Hayward and Quentin Williams, another great D tackle. So, and I wonder where is Jonathan Allen from Washington. I think he's a solid guy as well too. So, I think it's a pretty solid list.
that was a weak spot on their team last year, their D line, and he wasn't underwhelming. He did well, but they just couldn't come together as a unit, and that's where you do have to tilt your hat to the New York Jets.
Yes.
We talked about Pittsburgh's defense just in general, and I mean Philadelphia Eagles. We didn't even mention his other Georgia buddy. I know we talked about Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I mean, just simply the things he was able to accomplish
Yes.
his first 2 years. I mean, just a wrecking ball. Like alone, Nolan Smith Jr., defensive end. I'm just throwing him in there because we were talking about the Eagles' defensive line. So grades, you had Dexter Lawrence grading out pretty high for the New York Giants. So it's some names on this list that stand out. Vita V, he's 11th on this list.
Yes.
Just year in and year out dominating as a big guy. So I think that's worth noticing. Last but certainly not least, and we kind of teased it a little bit earlier, but the fifth topic, is the Conquer Sports Summer Lineman Camp. Just to give y'all a little more detail, I will have the information for this on my Instagram stories tonight. I know I'm talking about it right now. It is on there if you were to go through my stories at BigFave504. You can go ahead and give me a follow as well. If I have enough room, I'll definitely follow you back because they be maxing me out on my followers. I like to follow everybody. But listen, it's going to be 3 to 5 days a week of offense and defensive line training. You will have former NFL coaches such as myself working with the kids, technique, we just want to utilize this time to really key in on the teaching points, right? Just being able to go over that stuff. Mental performance and from the, just how to mentally prepare in your performing, recruiting assistance, that's included in some of the packages. A lot of that stuff is guiding, and I'm glad we're alive right now because I think this is important for everyone to hear. No one is guaranteed an offer. I know a lot of services say, hey, we could guarantee. There's no guarantee. What we do at Conquer Sports, we do guarantee that we're going to bust our tail for you, but a lot of this stuff is on the student athletes. It's on them to take advantage. We'll have some 5-on-5s, and just one heck of a interior lineman, exterior lineman camp for O linemen and D linemen. So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that registration information. And that kicks off tomorrow. Well, that does it for 5 with Fave, baby. I wanted to go ahead and kick that segment off. Shouts out to Chris for joining us with that thing there, and Conquer Sports for sponsoring that segment. And, let's, had to get it out, man. That's why I wanted to go and get the 5 with Fave out there, talk about my NBA stuff. We have to give LSU, Shreveport, their big ups. Coach Kelly, LSU Tigers, looking forward to what they're going through. We're recapping here, and we went over the top interior defensive linemen, and, of course, to talk about the Conquer Sports Camp. Hey, well, we're just getting started here, baby. We still have 3 more segments to go. Y'all stick around. We'll be joined by Dr. Kendra Andrews from Health Nut System. Yeah, she's going to talk to us about her different products for your novice person training, and we do have some products for the student athletes or any athlete out there wanting to fuel their body. Can't wait till she sits down and talks to us about some of this stuff. And we're going to have to get into a couple of questions about weight loss. Is there something, we might want to come out our shirt, get all fine for, I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy. Yeah, you feel me? So y'all definitely stick around. We will have her join us here shortly. Well, it's Inside the Trenches, baby, and we're live right here at the Loyola studio. Shouts out to Wes and Damian and everybody in there producing this show. Look, Chris gonna hang around with us, and we'll be right back. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolf. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamar Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamar Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite, and we live here at the Loyola studio in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. And we want to take this time to thank our sponsor for this segment. That's right, Health Nut System. Be sure to check out Health Nut System on Instagram at healthnut.nut1. And then you can also visit their website at www.healthnut.com healthnutsystems.com. Y'all been seeing my Instagram. Y'all been seeing me flex and do all that good stuff. Well, I got the Elixir Fixer in here right now. Joining us is Dr. Kendra Andrews, the founder, co-founder, her and her husband, founders of Health Nut System, based right here out of Louisiana. Dr. Kendra, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. So let's jump right into it because this is what I've been getting most of the questions about. Let's go ahead and get our close-up. Y'all got it? Speed Up 360, an all-natural product. We're going to talk about our athletes with this in a second, but just for our novice person training, just trying to lose weight, get in shape, talk to them about Speed Up 360.
So Speed Up
365, I'm sorry.
is a holistic, natural, organic, plant-based supplement that helps you burn fat and gives you lots of energy. And it also helps with mental clarity because it has that matcha green tea in the formula. So for individuals that's trying to burn fat and they want to have more muscle than fat, this would be the perfect supplement for them.
Yeah, and y'all, I know I talk about this a lot, and I'll be honest, I do work out too, but it's the way I feel on the product, and it's everything that they have in there, from the turmeric to the green tea, the pepper. Now, it is a blend of spices that, we ain't gonna let y'all know about that, but the most important thing is it's all natural. What we do at Conquer Sports a lot, we talk to our student athletes about nutrition and what you should eat. And I know sometimes Coach ain't the best example for that, with some of my meals, but they see me working out and they see me doing my vitamins and my supplements. We talk about spices, son Brock all the time.
Yes.
Brock came on the show. We had to say, Brock, he had to see my little pictures to be like, all right, Coach, I'm trying to tell you. But student athletes are able to use the Speed Up 365. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. It's perfectly safe. And what it is that we went into the kitchen. There's spices all in the kitchen, and we put those spices together to create a synergy. And then that's when we created Speed Up 365. So it just does what it does. It's perfectly safe. It's not going to contraindicate with any medication that any of the athletes may be taking. So it's just a win-win situation, If they're being drug tested, hey, it's okay because it's spices. It's things that we cook with every day. However, we just had the knowledge to kind of put it together and boom, here it is.
And I think that is important. And I do notice when I went to your Instagram, I saw some of the meals you prep. For the person that's saying, hey, I want to get on this product, but I want to turn up. I want to be able to maximize that opportunity. Do you have a food system or a schedule that they could follow to be able to, while they're taking the product, to be able to use it to its full potential?
Yes, we definitely have that. We also want to be aware that it does curb your appetite. So be aware of that. So we advise everyone to eat before you take the supplement because you're going to go through the day and you're like, did I forget to eat? Yeah, so it does turn off that signal in the brain and it gives you that feeling that you're full. So we advise you to eat before you take the supplement and always eating at least 2 meals a day. You don't have to do 3, especially now that it's getting really hot. Yeah, so you don't want to overdo it and pick those meals that are very heavy. You want to eat a little lighter, however, just kind of snacking in between because you want to give your digestive system time to rest. I know we've been told 3 meals a day, but it takes at least 24 hours for the meal to digest. So by the time you wake up in the morning, that food that you ate the day before is still digesting. So you haven't gotten rid of that. So when you're having a bowel movement, that's not the food that you ate last night. That was maybe the night before.
Makes sense. Chris, Chris is a student here. He might want to get on. You got any questions about the Elixir Fixer?
Chris is pretty slim, so he would probably benefit from the mental clarity.
Right.
The mental clarity and the energy.
Well, that kind of, and I'll get back to this with our student athletes, but Chris will probably be a better person for the still body.
Yes.
This should build muscle with right here. So
it does.
Yeah. So
yes.
let's go ahead and segue to the still body now. I do know that a lot of athletes watch this show. Definitely check with your team doctor,
Yes.
team nutritionist about this. Give them this bottle. This
And
is
all
for my
the
guys that's trying to
ingredients.
get gains, right? Gain
Yes.
muscle. This one kind of got me, Doc, right? Because just recently with the NFL, for the Super Bowl, we all had our health checkup. So we
Okay.
did the whole deal, and I tilted the scale a little heavier. But come to find out, I did put on a lot of muscle mass. So it wasn't a lot of fat. So that was when I was taking both of these products, y'all.
Oh, boy.
I was rolling with both of them. And Doc, I did take this at night a couple times. I was up a little bit. I know you said in the morning and afternoon, Marlon. So these two, but I put on a lot of muscle gain with the total body. Talk to us about this concoction, Doc.
Oh, wow. So Still Body, my husband was like, can you formulate something that'll help men burn fat and build muscle and kind of help with the midsection, because we know that's where the disease lies, in the gut and the midsection. So it was 4th of July, maybe like 2 years ago. And I was like, okay. And I went in there and I started putting things together in my medicine room. And then that's how Still Body was created. So it burns fat, it builds muscle, increases mental clarity. It helps with energy. It helps with bowel consistency. It helps with overall wellness. And it also helps with the libido for some men. So we have to tell you that. So plant-based medicine just does what it does. And so it's just a wonderful product. We refer to it as the panacea of wellness. So it gives you anything that you need. So if Mr. Marlon is lacking energy, it's going to be like a science. I'm going to give him energy. If you're lacking Chris, right? If you're lacking mental clarity, it's gonna. I'm gonna give Chris mental clarity. So the pill basically figures out what you need, and it's amazing. It's just like it has a mind of its own.
If y'all are just tuning in Inside the Trenches, we're joined by Dr. Kendra Andrews. Be sure to check her out. Look, they got the website up. All these products are on sale right now. You can check them out at healthnutsystem.com. And listen, we're talking about these are my faves, right? These are the ones I've been on, but she also has CMOS. They have some teas to detox your liver, certain other muscle recovery products and things of that nature. So give us a little background, because I'm at the website right now. I'm checking out you and your husband. Y'all both look fit. Y'all both look into it. Back in 2019 was when you guys established this. So take us back to the beginning.
Yes, so in 2019, I was looking for something to do where I can help people live healthier lives, but more on a holistic level, because I know that we're triune beings. We're natural, we're physical, we're spiritual. So I wanted to take a holistic approach and work with some medical doctors as well, so we can do an integrative approach so that people can live longer and stronger. So that's what we wanted. So we created, he named the business after me, Kendra Lynn's Health Nut System. And that's how it came about. Now, he is a health nut. He's more of a health nut than I am.
Come on.
Yes, he's a clinical therapist. He's more of the mind and the psychology. I'm more of the body piece. So together we create Kendra Lynn's Health Nut System. So year to date, we formulate 90 remedies. And actually, Still Body has its own website, stillbody.org. That's the only product on that website, stillbody.org, and then the other products are on healthnutsystem.com.
Right. So I want to make that clear, because we do have this on the show notes. So stillbody.org has its own website. Visit it to get its products. You can order it right now. This is for my guys who want the muscle gains. Now look.
Yes.
Excuse me. The summer is here. Right? And I'm not saying that this is going to work in 2 weeks, but if you give yourself a few weeks, somebody, consistently, you will feel the difference. That is something I can go ahead. Go ahead, run your
Yes. So my first question is, how fast you think this could potentially progress if I be consistent with this Still Body medicine? And also the second question will be, what was my second question? My second question is, just answer the first question first.
Okay, sure. So
like that.
every individual is different. So all of us have a different, body makeup. So it may take one person longer than the other. But generally speaking, out of all the people that have tried it, they notice a difference in maybe 2 days. with their energy level. That's the first thing you're going to notice. Like, I'm clearer, I'm thinking more clearer, and my energy level is up. So that's in a couple of days. As Mr. Marlon said, if you're consistent, maybe 2 weeks where you begin to see your physique change, because it's going to kind of take your body contour and streamline it. So you're never going to look like him, and he's never going to look like you. But whatever you have, it's going to accentuate that. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Okay. The other two questions just popped up.
Okay.
So my second question is how many pills a day that you could take with the Still Body pill, and also where can you get this from?
Okay, so we recommend 2 capsules per day. Now, there's some individuals that have tried it and they said, I can only do 1, doc. And some of those people have been female. Some of those people have been a smaller frame, so they opted out to do 1 capsule per day. But the recommended dosage is 2 capsules per day, usually before you eat, because it will also trigger to you that you're full and you're going to forget to eat. So eat first and then take them. And you can find this particular product, Still Body, on stillbody.org.
Okay.
Yeah, and once individuals try it, they come back and they come back and they come back because you really like the way you feel.
Yes. Thank you so much. That definitely answers my question.
But Chris ready for that Still Body. Chris
Yes,
like, oh yeah,
yes.
this ain't playing around with him.
Gotta flex a little bit, you know.
Recovery. It's summertime. Football season's coming up. Right now, a lot of the athletes are hitting the levees and doing heavy weightlifting. Recovery is important. Talk to us about recovery and your recovery products as well.
Yeah, so actually, both of those products are designed to give you recovery. Both of them.
Look at that. Answers
Both of
right
them.
here in front of me.
Both
Hello,
of them.
somebody.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's important because while they are losing weight, while they are, building their muscle and really starting to shape their body, that recovery time is important, especially with the heat, right?
Yes.
It's 90 some odd degrees right now, and you have to be able, like what we used to always do, we would do like the pre-workout shakes, right? Then there would be the post-workout shakes. But a lot of that sugar is loaded with sugar, so this is more of a natural recovery.
It's all natural, yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's fire. So listen, if y'all want to remember, there's a few things I want y'all to get together here. You have the Health Nut System website, which will have that pop up here on our screen. Check it out. These are some of the products. I talked about the sea moss. One product that I really appreciate that Dr. Kendra hooked me up with as well is the oils. Like being able to have the essential oils, that mix. I smell that cinnamon, and I know cinnamon something in there.
Cinnamon is in there.
Definitely in there. But just that stuff, it make my, and even the way it makes my skin feel. Like I struggle with like acne and stuff like that on my skin. I just felt like pure with the oils. I like that concoction, so they could get that on the Health Nut System site.
Yes. That's, you're referring to the Slim Down Belly.
The Slim Down Belly. I knew it was something. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. So you rub the oil on there, which is our oil blend, and then you wrap your belly with the reusable green wrap, and then you just let it do what it does. There's no time frame as to like you should wear longer or shorter. Just wear it and wipe it off when you finish and lay it out to dry, and that's it.
I'm telling y'all, that's the one right there. So like, I want to recap this for y'all a little bit. Remember, muscle gains, recovery, the whole 9. You want to roll with the Still Body. There you go. Y'all got that. Look at, that's how I'm gonna look that like that dude right there, right? And then for our athletes, this is very important for our Conquer players. You could use the Speed Up. You could use the Speed Up 365. Take 2 capsules. I'm warning you. She just tried to warn you. I done made a mistake. I didn't eat till about 3:15 today because I did not eat. I took this, didn't eat nothing. I had this on empty belly. I was working today. I was working on a script and doing certain stuff. I looked up. I didn't. So I'm just telling you right now, this stuff slows down in a natural way. And it's some of the nutrients and stuff you need anyway. You need these herbs in your life, right, Doc?
Yes, that's a good point you made. I wanted to ask you a question. So you took it on an empty stomach. Did you get sick?
No. My stomach did. I felt like the hunger pain like around 1:30.
1:30.
Yeah, and I would usually take a second capsule, but I realized I didn't eat. I wanted to, this is what I've been doing, y'all, just so y'all can peep me out. And y'all, for the product, y'all can check my Instagram stories now. I got them saved. Check me out. I got it. No shirt, baby. No shirt summer. But I took one this morning. Now, I did drink water. And
good.
I want to say I did have total beet juice too.
Okay.
That's what I did have. And I just kept going.
Wow.
And I picked up Lil Man from summer camp. And I'm like, oh, snap. I got to grab it. At this point, it's 2:45. We leaving there. And I didn't really eat. Well, we had to figure out what we was going to eat till about 3:15.
Did you realize you hadn't eaten?
Didn't realize it. That's the part.
So funny.
It was just, and it might have been part of me being on a go today, but yeah, this is my normal routine. This is I have like 3 of these left. Yeah,
You have to refill you.
I got to refill. So the product, I am a living testament of these products definitely working, but it's gotta be consistent. You can't pop one on Monday and say
Definitely.
3 weeks later, hey, I was taking it. No, this is a lifestyle switch, right, Doc?
Yes, it is. And that's one of the biggest problems that doctors have, whether they're holistic doctors, naturopathic doctors, or medical doctors, is non-patient compliance. If we tell you to take 2 capsules a day, unless it does something different to you, then take 2 capsules a day. Consistency is the key, and paying attention to the directions on the bottle or with the supplement.
Hey, y'all heard it right here. Well, she is Dr. Kendra Andrews. Thank you so much for coming on the show again.
Amen.
Y'all need to be a
amen.
health nut. Remember, y'all need to visit both sites. That's stillbody.org. Get yourself right. You can get it right and keep it right, baby. And be sure to also visit healthnutsystem.com. They have all the information you need right there on the show. And hey, you gonna hear her voice in her product each week here on the show. But she won't be a stranger. She definitely gonna come back. Y'all give it up for Doc, baby. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Look,
you.
check this out, y'all. Y'all don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna talk Saints. We're gonna talk LSU. Oh, LSU baseball rolling, baby. Definitely. And we'll be joined by recording artist Mac. Yes, indeed. Legendary Mac from No Limit will sit down and talk with us. Y'all don't go anywhere. It is Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello, somebody. We'll be back.
This is Robert Wolf. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamar Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamar Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, just like that, we back, baby. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and this hour too, so we're going to keep this thing rolling. Yes, indeed. That's my old soul voice right there. Ain't my real voice right there. That old back blues sound right there. Well, looks like we got ourselves a co-host here. We have my man Mario Jerez. Yes, indeed, a big host of the show Inside the Trenches. Mario always comes on. Mario, thank you for coming on the show. That's Lil Chris right there. L-A-H, Lil Chris. That's how they do it. So, Mario, so far, me and Chris had a great show. We had Five with Fave. Dr. Kendra just joined us to talk a little bit of summer weight loss. Like, summertime fine, baby. That's how we're trying to get it. And we also want to take this time to thank Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate, 143 Lapalco Boulevard, right there in Gretna. Y'all could call 504-393-2445. Mention Big Fave for some special offers. I know there are great offers right now on house elevations. We in Louisiana. That's important. We get storms. If you about to buy you don't want to get flooded out. So holla at my folks at Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate and let them know that you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. So Mario, I've been itching to talk about the Saints. Glad you're here because I know when me and you start talking Saints, it gets real to the Holyfield. And Chris likes to talk about the Saints because, like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, the Saints and the quarterbacks, I'm letting you know. See, I got him down back already. I got him. Speaking of which, quarterback competition, Hainer, Rattler, Shuck. Now, Hainer got hurt at some point during, so it's been the Rattler-Shuck show. Rattler has the keys to the Ferrari, it appears. Right now, it's his job to lose. That's what it looks like. Eric McCoy, the rat-tat-tat, post on X. Talk to me, Mario, your observations thus far.
What's good, Big Fave? Happy to be here as always, first and foremost. And yeah, I was able to be out there last week, do a little boots on the ground observation / reporting. And man, you've played. It's June 2nd. When I went, it was like May 29th. You don't want to take too much out of these practices. They're out there in helmets and shells. But it was nice to just physically see all the newness with the Saints, like all the new additions to the coaching staff, not just Kellen Moore, who's leading the way, but Bo Davis, who's now leading the trenches. you have a lot of new assistants coming in, and you have all the new players, right? Number one, the rookie class led by Tyler Shutt, but a lot of guys that are in New Orleans for the first season. So we're not going to learn too much from being out there, but it was nice to see Tyler Shutt. My I guess, key observation from the last OTA with Big Fave would be Tyler Shutt just looked big. Like, we haven't had very many big quarterbacks in New Orleans, even post Drew Brees. So we'll learn more about the team as we go, but it was nice to see Shuck. It was nice to see Kellen Moore. And we'll see. We'll see what this team's about as we get closer to a very, very important preseason.
I am interested in seeing how Shuck looks once we really start putting pads on. We start seeing how the team comes together. I've been getting a lot of good reports, as you mentioned, about how he looks at practice. But to your point, more of an Aaron Brooks-sized quarterback, a bigger guy. We've had Drew Brees wasn't tall. Of course, Jameis had some height to him, but they barely put him in. So, I mean, well, he played and they got him up out of here. But it's just, to your point, one of those situations where you just wonder how that quarterback room is going to shape up. Chris, any comments on who, like, just off GP? You rolling with Shuck, Rattler? You still optimistic? How do you feel about the quarterback room?
Right now, I'll probably lean towards Spencer Rattler due to the experience and due to the fact that he wouldn't necessarily have butterflies coming into week 1 because he started multiple games before. So that would be my take on that.
No doubt. Mario, you and I have been vocal about this on and off air. I know you host Ken's show. You also go to my homeboy, Eric Asher, the award-winning, baby. Award-winning. That's my guy.
Shout out, Eric.
Shouts out to E. But we've been very vocal about the height of the wide receivers for the Saints. It's like, man, Chris Olave, bad enough Derek Carr was setting them up, throwing him all these bad passes at times, and he was going up and get it. But I've heard a lot about Bub Means in his year 2 stepping up. Also, we have Jones, Donovan People-Jones, who's a bigger wide receiver. So does the room look a little taller to you now? Like, got a little more size to it based off? I mean, you just watching, just pure observation. You're watching the quarterbacks and receivers do pitch and catch. Like, talk to me.
Yeah, no, they still look kind of short out there, Big Fave. And I interviewed the other day. I didn't get time to ask this question. I forgot what local reporter pointed it out. But the Saints are actually the only team in the NFL that does not have a wide receiver at least 6'3". Everybody's 6'2" or shorter, and they're the only team in the NFL that could say that. Now, I don't know if that's a very big deal. I don't know if that stats a lot of something or a lot of nothing. But at the end of the day, if the Saints are going to have any success offensively this year, it's going to be because of a newfound running game and Kellen Moore bringing some of the principles over from Philadelphia. And that's another observation I forgot to point out from the OTA. They have more depth on the offensive line. I think the additions of Raduns and Will Clapp, my former teammate of Brother Martin, along the offensive line is huge. Like, the first 5, I thought, played a little bit better last year than a lot of people would have hoped, but the depth was really hurting. Like, when McCoy went down, you could argue that was the most detrimental injury for the Saints, even including Derek Carr. So hopefully the depth along the offensive line helps, but if the Saints are going to have any success on offense, it'll be predicated on an improved running game.
Yeah, I like the addition of Raduns. I'm looking to see what type of contribution he's going to bring to the team. We may need him to hop in there and start if Trevor Penning isn't ready to roll the way we need him. But I've heard good things about him as well. But you brought up the running game. I think that's something that's worth looking at. This is something we've lacked. I can remember Dion, you get the call from Prime, baby, when it was Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. Like, that was a thing. And it was known that the Saints had an established running game. I can't wait to see Devin Neal. I mean, I saw him in college and what he was able to do at Kansas, y'all. I just feel like Devin Neal is somebody that could come up and shape in the room. I mean, I spent some time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire this spring, at their spot at Elite. You have your veteran, basically receiver / running back guy that could catch out of the backfield, compliment Alvin, but man, it's more boots on the ground. Running game-wise, north and south, we looking to see one of these guys kind of get some rushing yards for us, huh, Chris?
Absolutely. Yes. And I like you said, I like the addition of Devin Neal as well. And, give a little bit of a break of, Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller. I think we have some good running back depth. And I think the offensive line has improved as well with their depth as well.
We don't talk about this enough, Mario, the defensive side of the ball for the Saints. It's been the Derek Carr show, right, the last few weeks. When you think of Saints media and the news that we've been hearing about the last few weeks, it's been mainly Derek Carr, and he's retired out of the blue. But in between and before a lot of that, there was some things happening. We did sign Devon Gottschall, LSU's very own, to come and play that nose guard position. We did sign an extension with Chase Young. Brian Bruzy has had one heck of a 2 first years in the NFL. Cam Jordan, veteran Cam Jordan, what's his role going to look like? So it's so much to go. Nathan Shepard's still there. Khalil Saunders is still there. We're bringing a new rookie in Vernon Broughton. 3rd round draft pick. 3rd round, you on the team. So it's depth on the defensive line. I'm Mario, at least to say that.
100%. And the last two guys you just mentioned, Broughton and Godshaw, those guys really got to pan out because I think the Saints' interior defensive line was just awful against the run, really going back the last couple of years. But once you shore that up, you get to more 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s compared to 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. Then maybe you can count on an older Cam Jordan. Then maybe Chase Young can earn that contract. Then maybe Granderson can have that breakout year that we've all been waiting for. But it all starts with stopping the run, man. And we're going to talk about LSU in a few minutes. I think the same goes for them. And once you do that, then Brandon Staley can get a little bit creative. You could utilize guys like Alante Taylor a little bit more, be aggressive in your defensive play calling. But it all starts with stopping the run. If I could go back to the offensive side of the ball for a second, you mentioned Trevor Penning. Moving him to guard could pay huge dividends for the Saints. And I think it's just a common sense thing, man. You played defensive line in college, in the NFL. I played 3 snaps of varsity football my entire time at Brother Martin. But common sense would lead me to believe that Trevor Penning is a guard, right? He's a mauler. He's mean. He's strong. 100%. When he plays tackle, he struggles in space. I feel like you don't need to be a football expert to figure that out. And I'm glad that that's one of the first things Kellen Moore did when he got here is kick him back to the inside. And hopefully that can help Trevor Penning resurrect his career. And in a world where the Saints are going to surprise some people, he's going to have a good season down there in the interior offensive line.
I do feel more confident in Trevor Penning because he has NFL playing experience now. That matters. I mean, he definitely had a welcome to. A couple of guys was hitting with a few hoo-ha. Look, we did this. Shouts out to the homie BT Jordan. We did a pass rush retreat last summer. We had like 60 NFL players there, and now Trevor Penning was on the other side with my boy Duke from the offensive line mastermind. I chopped it up with him a little bit, and all the D linemen was over here. So we had a film session with the linemen, and we ended up watching. So they pulled up the tape with Penning his rookie year going against Arden Key. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, I called that game.
That
was
bad. Man.
It was.
Wow.
But hey, the best teacher sometimes is experience.
Absolutely.
You had the opportunity to go watch that film, make some corrections. I want to talk a little bit about the Saints a little more before we switch gears to LSU. If y'all just tuning in Inside the Trenches, we have my man, I'm not too much friends with his cousins and all of them, the Ponce twins, right? We have Chris Ponce over here. I'm saying that's his cousin. There might be a 7th cousin, who knows? And, of course, my man Mario Jerez, the Spanish voice for the Saints, LSU, Inside the Trenches sometime. My man does it. Shouts out to Mario. Y'all, we're just talking about the Saints team. Couple new kids on the block when you start talking about the secondary and the second level with the linebackers. Danny Shutterman, I can't wait to see him roll. I've heard so much great things about him. Quincy Riley, I'm looking at seeing could he contribute as a dime or nickel back. Of course, you hear such great things about. We talked about Vernon earlier, but you know who kind of fell into the mix? I had a lot of high hopes for this kid out of Texas. Jalen Ford, he got hurt last year. The 5th round draft pick. He's somebody, some like Isaiah Foskey, guys that were drafted at a pretty decent spot, whether it's injuries or just being out of position or not being able to get in a rhythm. some of these new kids on the block I could see being rising stars, you think?
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited for the coaching change. Like, not to take away from Dennis Allen. I think he'll be a good coordinator in Chicago like he's been his whole NFL career. But some of these guys, they were just, it looks like they were overthinking a little bit. I mean, we just talked about Trevor Penning. They at least tried to make the change. Hopefully he's more effective. And look what went down with Zach Bond with the Eagles. Now, like an all-pro caliber linebacker in the NFL, barely got on the field for the Saints. So what if we could say the same thing about Isaiah Foskey? Peyton Turner left. He went to the Cowboys. So you can't put him in that conversation anymore. But that's what's so exciting. And again, we're a long time away from the season, but just the newness, just literally getting new bodies in there to make these decisions could pay huge dividends for the Saints.
Chris, you're excited about the new faces on defense, what Brandon Staley, Coach Staley could potentially do. Talk to us about the new faces on defense and how you feel about the way this defense is coming together.
I think the most interesting part of the defense, well, second most interesting part. I would say the most interesting part, you have mentioned it earlier, was the interior of the defense, the interior of the defensive line, and how they could find a way to stop the run. The front seven, I think that would be the most interesting part because, like you said, they have struggled to stop the run. As I remember watching the Buccaneers game last year. It was bad. The home game against the Bucs, it was bad. Sean Tucker, I never heard of this kid before.
Yeah.
He ran for 144 yards. That was so bad. And then
That was bad. I forgot all
yes,
about that.
so that's like a prime example right there of how bad the Saints' run defense was last year. But hopefully they can improve on the run defense this year because as at the end of the Drew Brees, Sean Payton years, they were great at stopping the run. That was the identity on defense, and hopefully they could get back to that identity. And then the second most important thing, we have some unknowns in the secondary, and I'm excited about that. You know, we still have Tyrann Mathieu in the backfield. Let's see what Kool-Aid McKinstry can do in his second year, I believe. And I'm excited, you know. I'm excited for the young guys in the secondary to see what they can do.
You ready for September to roll around, what you're telling me?
Absolutely, yes.
And I know y'all are too, so hey, we are going to enjoy this entire summer about talking about the Saints, more observations from OTAs, developing stories as this team comes together. Let's go. Go Saints all the way. Go Saints all the way. Oh, I believe.
Getting there, man. 3 months away.
Yes, indeed, we are. LSU football, let's go ahead and talk about it. Brian Kelly, Coach Kelly says this is the best roster, Mario, he's had since he's been at LSU. Do you believe this is the best roster, and is this one of his better chances of making that big run that we are all waiting for?
No, I do not. This might be the team that gives LSU their best shot at making the playoffs, but it's definitely not their most talented roster. Let's be real.
On his watch.
Yeah, that was in 2023 when they had Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. and they still went to the ReliaQuest Bowl. Like that's just how it is. Brian Kelly can say that. It's a very talented roster, and you have a second-year starting quarterback. You have a second-year defensive coordinator, finally has some continuity there. You have some elements that could lead to some success, but to say this is the most talented roster is just a lie. I do not agree with that.
Do you feel like it's the most complete roster?
You can make the argument for that, for sure. You can make the argument for that. I'd say probably is, just because, like I said, the continuity. I think second year starting for Nussmeier is big. You could see what Jaden Daniels did in the second year as a starter. Same with Joe Burrow, even going back to Zach Mettenberger. Like, that's huge. And then Blake Baker coming back to coach the defense. That's the first time in the Brian Kelly era that they've had the same defensive coordinator in back-to-back years. So the continuity is big. The seat's definitely getting hotter. In his fourth season in a 12-team playoff, Brian Kelly better made the college football playoffs. But, yeah, they got a pretty nice team.
Chris, you agree with Mario on that one?
Wow. And I literally been telling my friends the same thing you've been saying. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Brian Kelly, this is your fourth season. You had Jaden Daniels. You had Malik Neighbors. You had Brian Thomas. You had all these NFL talent on offense. And you had failed to not only make the college football playoffs, but couldn't even make it to the SEC championship game yet. I think you are one of the few teams in the SEC that has an experienced quarterback and Garrett Nussmeier, an exciting offense, an improved defense, hopefully, with the returning of coordinator. Yeah. Yes. So, Brian Kelly, your fourth season at LSU, if you do not go to the SEC championship game or make the college football playoffs, I think he should be done after this year. Straight up.
It's a hard seat to have, especially in recent years. It took Saban 3 years to get a natty. It took Coach Miles 3 years for us to get a natty in 07. We did it on the third season. And, of course, with Ed Orgeron, same thing. It's a pressure job. It really is. Coach Kelly, to his defense, was inherited a little different set of keys with the NIL. We can't use it as an excuse for him as a Power 5 college coach, but as far as an LSU coach, Coach Ed had the greatest football team ever in LSU's history. Mario made a good point. It's kind of hard to say this is your best roster because the names he mentioned, you had Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Jaden Daniels was clearly the Heisman Trophy winner. You got a Heisman Trophy winner on your roster. It's not, hey, this is my best. Nah.
The 2 tackles, too. You had Emory Jones and Will Campbell for 3 years and couldn't get a running game, couldn't win anything. I'm not just trying to, hammer on Brian Kelly. Like, he's done some good things, but I agree with everything you just said. Like, year 4, there's no way you should be losing to, like, the Floridas of the world. Like, you just have to make the top 12. The top 12. And if we're speaking objectively, whatever, Brian Kelly's a better coach than Les Miles was. He's a better coach than Ed Orgeron was. But we can't make excuses for him that, we didn't make for these guys. It's just not fair.
Yeah, y'all both making very interesting points in that regard. This team is loaded with talent. It has depth. I think y'all are making an even bigger point, the fact that this team has coaches that was able to build that continuity that you talked about. Having a rotating defensive coordinator is tough. You do try something that works because of the personalities, and Coach Shalon and Coach Cortez, those guys aren't trying to be super big dog chiefs. They don't mind being co-chiefs,
Exactly.
So that worked. I had a few reservations about that at first. But just knowing those 2 guys, it does work. But it is it's the having the players that are from the state on the team. That was something that was key in us going the distance we went when we were there. Glenn Dorsey, Gonzalez, Tyson Jackson, Edgar. If you did leave the state, Tremaine Johnson, it was Houston. But for the most part, most of us were right here from this area. So that has a lot to do with how those teams are going to continue to be what they are. Hey, I can't talk about LSU in no form and fashion. We already gave a big shout out, and I want to do it again, to LSU Shreveport. Undefeated, 59 wins in a row, and then winning it all, NAIA. Y'all definitely, in my opinion, build the confidence in the students who are getting offers from NAIA schools, NAIA schools, and taking it serious. Like you can be, like a lot of guys are going to hit the portal off this team and go to bigger schools and make money off of this win. So that was huge. But LSU baseball, it's going on right now. Didn't like the way it finished with the SEC, but I do have one question before we wrap this segment. Mario, I'll come to you on that question. Is this a bounce back year for Coach Jay Johnson?
You mean this season right now? Or
this season, yeah, because like I said, right now we got regional, and all that stuff coming up. This is when he really gets real with baseball.
For sure. I mean, fair or unfair, that's the expectation for LSU baseball. And unlike Brian Kelly, we're talking about a man that's already won a national championship. So that's the standard that he has established. And a lot of LSU fans feeling really uneasy about this game tonight against LSU Little Rock. I think they get it done, but we'll see. If they do, definitely potential for a bounce back year and hopefully another national title.
Well, y'all know we got to go around the state, baby. That was LSU, talk a little Saints. Hey, but we're going to keep it New Orleans, baby, 504. That's right. Before we shut the show down, our last segment 4, we'll be joined by No Limit recording artist Mac. Got so much to catch up with the homie. Looking forward to having that segment go, so y'all make sure y'all stick around for it. He's an LSU fan, too, and you know he loves his beloved Saints, baby, so might have a few sports questions for Mac as well. It's Inside the Trenches. right here in beautiful Uptown, baby. New Orleans. We're at Loyola Studios. Some of the best production in here, baby. I love it, y'all. See, this camera make me look a little prettier, don't it? Hello, somebody. Well, y'all don't go nowhere. We got one more segment. We'll be joined by Mac of No Limit, recording artist. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN Baton Rouge. Watch out there now.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And time does fly when you're having a good time. This is our last segment here on Inside the Trenches, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. And remember, every Monday between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., y'all can check us out here, right here on this app. Now, of course, on my app, BigFave504, I'll have up different portions of the show for y'all to check out. But I want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Health Nut System. Shouts out to Dr. Kendra for coming on, talking to us how we can stay all shape and move that body for the summer. And then also I want to thank Robert Wolf Construction for all that they do for the show as well. If y'all, we in New Orleans, y'all, and especially my folks on the bayou that's Far West Bank, y'all got to elevate them houses. We had snow. We actually had snow in New Orleans since like 1897 or something crazy like that. So I don't know what this hurricane season is going to be, but we have to hit up our folks at Robert Wolf Construction. Remember, y'all can let them know y'all heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches, and y'all can call at 504-393-2445. Y'all know me, man. I love music and I love sports. These two things have been a part of my life for years. Growing up here in the New Orleans area, we had great examples of that. Lyricists, producers, musicians, you name it, this city is known for. Well, our next guest falls right off of that cloth, baby. Formerly with No Limit, he's worked with Cash Money artists. He's worked with so many people throughout the country. You got fans that are celebrities everywhere. My brother from the 504, Mr. Mac himself. Mac, baby, what's good?
Hello, somebody.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Y'all
You
make
heard
sure.
me?
Y'all
What's
follow.
happening?
I'm good, man. Y'all follow Mac at Mac official Mac Phelps.
Official.
Yep.
Yeah, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that.
Yes, indeed, my brother. You've been busy. You've been on the road with P. Y'all have done some shows recently. You and Fiend has collaborated on some things. Talk to our listeners about how it's been going on the road with you guys.
Well, everything's been good. Me and Fiend just did a show in Atlanta. I had one here in New Orleans, I think, last week in Bridge City, actually. This weekend we'll be in New Jersey. I'll be in New Jersey with P and I think the Locks and Bone Thugs and Harmony had that show. That's in Jersey Friday, June 6th. I got we're doing the Essence Festival, of course. We're doing Essence next month. So just trying to prepare and even with all of that, me and Fiend are actually going on a tour starting next week, I think on the 17th or something like that. So we've just been moving around, man, just trying to connect and make it happen, you know.
I'm glad you're on the show because we do have a lot of young listeners. And for cats like me and Mario, man, we cool, but I'm still like, man, I got Mac in here. It's really one of those, it's a humbling experience for us. But, you know, I start to think about your catalog, like when No Limit was really progressing as a label. I mean, of course, I always think about the classic I'm About It days, Master P putting together. And I got to talk about PR. You had that Deion Sanders Atlanta jersey on in there, too. I had everything.
And I'm About It?
And I'm About It.
Man, you know what? I never thought about that. He sure did had on a... But see, you got to keep in mind, Deion was the man back then.
He was the man.
So, you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. So we can't let Terry Fontenot or none of them at Atlanta Falcons see that. They're going to hold on,
man, P should have had on the Saints jersey.
Yeah,
straight up. Straight up. Now, Deion, look.
Hell yeah.
America, what a camera. America.
That's you.
Shout out to Deion. And look, shout out to P, but Saints, baby.
Go Saints, baby. Saints go all the way. I'm going to talk to you about your Saints before we leave here, too. But just, I guess, talk to our viewers about those early days with No Limit when you guys work on your first few projects. I mean, the way y'all recorded, man, you was on everybody's album.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, and I say to America, look, man, I think No Limit was the first hip-hop sweatshop. Like, we were literally in there day in and day out just spitting albums out like an assembly line. We had a formula at the time, and the formula was working. And I don't think that we really understood the enormity of it until it was gone. You know what I mean? I know for me, I didn't really understand that, we making a lot of records. I mean, we put out like about 28 albums in 1 year or something like that. So it was just crazy. That's crazy. I don't think anybody has ever done anything like that. But I do remember us just being excited, man, to be in there, just to be recording all the time. So it was fun for us,
You guys are legends, man, and I know y'all have inspired so many like young musicians in the city with y'all's work. But growing up for you in that era, what inspired you, and what was it like in that era, being an up and coming musician in New Orleans?
Right. So I guess my inspiration, as far as music is concerned, came from just listening to jazz. You know what I mean? I always loved jazz, so I'm a true New Orleanian. But from hip hop, as far as hip hop is concerned, I was raised on your Rakim, your LL, your Run DMC. So these were my quote unquote OGs that I looked up to. So, man, it was a great time back then, and just always wanting to compete and be the best. And that's what I think it was. The formula was just wanting to be the best. And so I think that drove all of us to give our best.
Longevity. You have been in the game for a while. Back in the early 90s, you dropped The Lyrical Midget. That's a song. Taking it back. I Need Wheels was on there. You talk about Rakim, but you even then, that Young Mac, your flowing pattern, man, we knew the potential was going to be there. Early days, man, just growing up, Parkway, right? You grew up in
like right around that area. Right around that area.
Just, I guess, talk to us about that whole situation, that whole making your first album.
I think what is not stated enough, even by myself, and I'm guilty of this, and fellas forgive me, but Gregory D and Sporty T were, they had a major influence on my career. They were like the first people that I remember in the 80s rappers that had a song on the radio in New Orleans. And this was my Uncle Bean, rest in peace, this was my uncle's best friends. So I literally had like a front row seat to some guys that were considered celebrities at the time in New Orleans. And so just watching them battle people and watching how they used their words, the way they dressed, and just their whole swag, it kind of had a lasting effect on me. And basically when I started rapping, it was just me trying to emulate what they were doing.
Right, exactly. If y'all are just tuning in, that's a good point there. Because that's basically what we did with them. It's crazy. I love what I'm doing right now in this interview. If y'all just tuning in, we have Mac from No Limit going on tour with No Limit here soon. Have been going on tour and doing some great shows, bringing back that original Southern New Orleans hip hop where we've missing. What hip hop is really missing.
Right.
And y'all have, you have an audience. Like, I was talking to Insane about this the other day. I'll never forget when he dropped
Shout out
this.
to Insane, too.
Big ups to Insane.
Shout out to Insane. That's the homie.
He tell me stories about you and Fiend all the time. I know him and Fiend played football together at the park back there in Holly Grove, and it's just cooler. Even Insane, meeting him later on in life, dude, I remember listening to all of your songs. They know about
that was my jam. And I don't think they're gonna catch me because I'll be running. Yeah, that was my dude.
That's New Orleans, right? But listen, these are folks from our area that even we're on different labels, we're like brothers. Like for years, Mac supported BG, BG supported Mac. Yeah. Brothers in Trouble, one of my favorite songs y'all did together. I really thought you brought the best out of BG lyrically, y'all coming up. Like when y'all would get on the song, I felt like BG felt like he had to get in the zone.
And that's because me and BG, I've known BG since we were kids.
Wow.
So and BG always liked to hear me rap. So when he started rapping and I started hearing how good he was and just how authentic that voice and just his sound was, I always wanted to hear him. So when we got in the studio together, it was just like, it was like iron sharpening iron. And I think that is what we got as far as Brothers in Trouble. I think it was just a reflection of us both admiring each other enough to bring our best to the song.
Because it was on his album and it was on yours.
Yeah, so it was a song that I had already called Cops and Robbers.
Okay.
And so when I just so happened to be at the studio that day, and BG was like, man, listen, come hear this beat that Fresh in the pre-production room doing. So I went in there, I heard the beat, and I'm like, all right, I got something for it. And I just spit that. And by the way, Fresh was somebody I had already worked with before.
Because Wills.
Yeah.
Years ago, like y'all
Yeah. So
cool.
Fresh is who kind of taught me how to structure my songs. Because before Manny broke everything down for me, I used to just write never-ending songs as a kid. You know, my songs were just like devastating, dominate, you know, all these big words that we want to use. And so Fresh was like, nah, Lil Mac, you got to put, because he always, till this day, Fresh still calls me Lil Mac. I'm 47 years old. I was just with Fresh at the Dreamville Fest in North Carolina. So, and he's still like, what's up, Lil Mac? And he basically told me, break your verses down, 16 bars, put a hook here, put a verse there, and that's who kind of taught me how to structure songs.
Wow.
That's so awesome, and I'm glad you brought him up because Manny Fresh even influenced me growing up. I do the play-by-play in Spanish for the Saints now. I did it for LSU football for many years.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
Whenever DJ Shark, wide receiver, would run back a punt on the Spanish broadcast, I would say, go DJ.
Go DJ.
That's my DJ before I hit the touchdown whenever they scored. So shout out to Manny Fresh.
Yeah, that's my dude. Shout out to Manny Fresh.
And Big Favor and I talk a lot of college football. You know, the landscape of the sport's so different compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Right.
I imagine the same could be said about the music scene. So that's kind of an open-ended question, but how different is the industry right now compared to when you were coming up all those years ago?
Well, it's very different in a great way and then in some not so great ways. I think that the way the industry is right now is the way that I've always wanted it to be since a kid. Mm-hmm. Like I've always wanted there to be no barriers in between the artist and the audience, right? And this is the perfect time for that. There is no barrier, no gatekeeper between the artist and his audience. And I love that. Now, with that comes a flip side. Oversaturation. We have so many artists now that you have to be super extraordinary to be heard over the millions of other people that's trying to make songs. So, yeah, I love the independence it brings, but, yeah, it kind of makes the competition that much stiffer.
Yeah, it does. Speaking of which, and I want to talk to you about a couple other things, but right now, out of all the, and there's a lot of artists out, if Mac was to say, okay, I want to work with these 2 or 3 artists right now, is there any like artists out right now that you working on an album, a project
that I haven't worked with already?
That you haven't worked with already that you wouldn't mind working with now?
J. Cole will be at the top of the list.
I would love that.
Kendrick Lamar, definitely. Yeah. Wale. I haven't done anything with Wale before.
I like the artists you pick because we know Kendrick's very lyrical, but you and Cole, I just feel like y'all get on the track. That's the track we looking for because y'all about the same height too.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Cole smoke me. I couldn't let him smoke me.
You're not. I'm telling you, I would put my
Cole,
money on Mac. I'm telling you.
If you listening, I'm 47. I've been out of it for a minute, but I wouldn't let you smoke me, my brother. You might do your thing, but I'm not gonna let you smoke me on no song.
And Cole, you my dog, bro. I really like your music. I know me and D1 met you a few years ago. You was down here for All Star. You don't want it with the camouflage assassin, bro. I'm gonna say that on wax.
So we gonna go on record.
We go on the record and say that.
America, Cole, you don't want it. All right.
And I love Cole, but this is Man, I'm trying to think. Is No Limit Hip Hop? Would you like his voice? With your girlfriend's
like him, so you ain't really got a choice. I mean, what? Yeah. So that was crazy. That song was crazy. That was just a fun song, man. We was just in the studio, basically was freestyling, and we made that up on the spot. I just wanted somebody to play the bass, get the brothers to clap. I wanted to have an authentically live sound. I didn't want no beat to it or anything. That was just fun. And ironically, this is crazy. Ironically, that was one of Master P's favorite songs on the album.
Come on.
He came in the studio and he heard it and he was like, yo. So he went called the people from Priority and he came back. He was like, yeah. The dudes in the East Coast don't think we got no hip hop. Check this out.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So he really liked that song. It just was not a song that was typically marketable for that market. You know
right, I mean? Man. Okay, you brought up Master P. I was watching an interview you did. You say Master P is one of the coldest freestyle rappers you've ever worked with?
No. I'll be very specific with my words. I say he is the most successful freestyle artist I've ever seen because P wrote nothing. Like everything came from the top of his head. Everything was done in real time in the moment, right? Mm-hmm. And so to be able to do that and to make a successful career out of that, I haven't seen anyone do it. Now, I've heard people say, well, Wayne don't write, Jay don't write. Yeah, these guys don't stereotypically write. I don't write. But I memorize things in my mind. I put the stories together and the stuff in my mind before I go to the mic and spit it. That's different from getting on the mic and literally making these stories up in real time. That's what P do.
Well, how you... Okay, I'm going to go back to P for a second, but I got to go back to you. So wait, when I'm thinking of World War II and Shell Shock, those were freestyles?
No.
You did write, okay.
I wrote them in my mind. Like I sat down.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
you
so I would
Wayne,
sit there and go over it and memorize it.
Or something.
Yeah, I would memorize it and recite it to myself over and over again until I memorize it, and then I would go in the booth and spit it. This is what I believe. America, I'm not sure. I'm not in the studio sessions with Jay-Z or Biggie or none of them. But I am sure that it is very difficult, I would say, to come up with the intricate stories, lyrics, and plots that Jay-Z, Wayne, or Biggie come up with in real time. I think that's impossible. Whereas if you see what P is doing, P's stories are very simple, right? But it's effective. I think that is more likely to be true. Just watching him in real time, he just get on the mic, Kel, cut the mic on, and just, Yeah,
because y'all recorded, this was on Ghetto D, Say Black, the eye contact that you and I share made me want to be real again.
Yeah.
So you were on there. I want to say Fiend was on that record, and P freestyle. Well, he freestyled that. He just went there and ran. He was spitting on that.
Because
I saw the little stuff about, okay, the debate is up. Who you taking, Birdman or P? To me, two different. Like Birdman is the number one stunner. Like he is the
most definitely. Most definitely.
Who is the rap stunner? Who's the number one rap stunner guy? It's Birdman.
I think Baby epitomizes what he's the epitome of stunner.
Yes.
He's the epitome. You ain't gonna outshine Baby. He is the epitome of it. He created it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, P on the other hand is a hustler. P epitomizes a hustler. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. One of them epitomizes the stunting, the shining. The other one epitomizes hustle.
Hey, y'all, if y'all just tune in to Inside the Trenches, I'm joined by No Limit artist Mac, all the way back from the Lyrical Midget to Shell Shock to World War III. This brother has dropped classic albums. Mac, which leads me to my next deal with you. Back in 2001, you were incarcerated.
Yeah.
You were in jail for a minute, brother. I'm thankful to D1 because he really kept us up, like your fan base, me, Deli Boy, who produced Hello Somebody, all us, man. He's positive. He's doing the right things. You shared some stories with me about LSU I'm going to get to here. But, man, I want to tell you this. Your release date in 2021?
Yeah.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
It's my birthday, dog.
Wow.
You came out on my birthday, my dog.
Look.
one of my favorite hip-hop artists were released
Yes, sir.
on my birthday.
You're a good luck charm. I told you that. The man went to the Saints Super Bowl. Come from LSU Super Bowl. On his birthday, I got out of prison.
The man got America.
Big Fave got a rabbit foot in his pocket.
Hello, somebody indeed.
Hello, somebody.
Hello, freedom.
Yeah.
Hello, freedom.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So that was 21 years. Fave. 21 years, man.
I'm thinking back. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was still at Shaw, sophomore in high school. And we know, like, we knew your lyrics, and that's going to lead me to my next question. But you could tell you was a good person. Like, everybody I talked to, everybody spoke highly of you. Talk to our viewers about the Restore Artist Protection Act.
Okay. Restoring the Autistic Protection Act. Well, the Restoring Autistic Protection Act was a bill that myself, my wife, and a team of individuals, we spearheaded back about 2 years ago. And it was passed, I believe, in 2023, on August the 2nd, and on August 1st, it became law. It was passed before then, but it became law in the state. And we're trying to get similar bills passed all across the country. In fact, I'm leaving Wednesday to go to New York because we have to go do some lobbying up there for an important bill that's about to be on the table up there. So we're basically fighting for the free speech of artists and basically trying to make sure people have fair trials. You know, we're trying to prevent some folks from going through what I went through. My song lyrics were used against me in court. People like Corey Miller, like C. Murder, his lyrics were used against him in court, and we think that heavily prejudices a jury, you know what I mean, against an individual, particularly in a time where there are so many people that view young men in a certain way already. And we know that a lot of these song lyrics are just song lyrics. You know, it's not to be taken literal. Now, this is not a get out of jail free card that we're pushing for. In fact, we just want people to have a fair trial. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's why I go do my part to make sure that I try my best to stop someone from going through what I went through as a result of my song lyrics.
Yeah, Mario, Max making a good point because, I mean, I paid attention to that the whole time. And for you to spend 21 years of your life in prison and for your motivation coming out is to say, hey, I can't allow this to happen to any of these new rappers. We know Young Thug was on trial and they were using his lyrics. Yeah. I know we spoke about that the last time. He was able to get out of that deal. I saw that President Trump just pardoned NBA Youngboy, who, to me, he is the epitome of you being a mentor, too, for this particular deal, because I'm not saying that I'm a fan of Youngboy. Youngboy, I hope you're streaming your concert, because I don't want to be up in there with the young boys, you know. But I want to check out that show.
So America, what Favorite saying is he's an NBA Youngboy fan, but he don't want to be in there with the other young boys.
That's all I'm saying. And nothing against them at all. I'm pretty sure we'll all have a good time. I'm gonna be singing the lyrics along with them. But
we grown.
A little nervous. Yeah, we grown.
Yeah, we grown.
So do like Weezy did. If you don't mind, just go ahead and stream that thing with Prime Video or something. Thank you. Yeah. Me and Mac will come out there and we'll hit the stage, but we'll be backstage.
I'll be watching from the back. and look, and what's interesting is, speaking of Youngboy, I actually met Youngboy's mother at one of the No Limit reunion shows. I didn't know. Like, she came and she met. She asked me to take a picture with her. I took a picture with her, and the lady who was taking the picture said, "Mac, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "No." I said, "No, ma'am." And she was like, "That's Youngboy, Mom." I was like, "Oh, hey." You know, I didn't know. But and she was real nice. So yeah, the law that we're fighting for hopefully will affect all of the artists going forward that are, I mean, as I stated before on several networks, we know that a lot of what these artists say is simply hyperbole, metaphors, similes, and et cetera. I mean, you have a young man that may say on a particular song he killed 4 people, but he also say he owned a Bentley, and we know this is not true, man. So, you know what I mean? We got to be real, and I think it sets a bad precedent when we allow these district attorneys to cherry pick what they deem to be autobiographical and what is not. So I just think that keep the song lyrics out of it altogether, because if you really have evidence, then that'll be irrelevant anyway.
That's big time.
Yeah. Mario, I always think about Scarface, like Al Pacino, one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
They can't convict him on what he did in Scarface. I mean, the man would be better,
Yeah,
So
everybody,
it's
it's crazy. It's crazy. And, don't get me wrong. I do know that there is probably a small percentage of artists that are irresponsibly detailing their crimes in their songs. Hey, this law does not protect you. It does not protect you from self-incrimination. What our law does is protect your song lyrics from being used as a character witness, very specific, as a character witness against you. Meaning they can't bring up songs that you had before and say, hey, because of these song lyrics, he's more than likely the type of person that'll commit this crime. We think that's erroneous. I think that everything should be challenged like any other witness. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do. Now, if you get on the record and you sitting there with your phone in front of the blood of the person you killed, and you're like, yeah, I just handle my business and this, that, and the other.
I'm thinking about Boondocks.
Yeah, and then you giving yourself motive, you putting yourself on the location.
Yeah.
You done. Now, come on. I mean, we can't be crazy here, America. We can't be crazy here.
That's right.
Don't be like Gangstalicious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Gangstalicious.
Yes, don't be like Gangstalicious.
Don't do it.
You broke that down so good, man, and
Don't
hopefully what you went through prevents future people from going through that. But just in general, whether it comes to music or sports or anything, what advice would you have for people that are just going through adversity? Like if you're going through a tough time, what helped you when you were going through tough times that you think can be applied to anything?
Well, when I was going through a tough time, I always saw my freedom. That's the first thing. You have to see it. You have to believe and see it, and you have to put in the work on yourself and the things around you to change your environment. I'm a person who believes that prison is for prisoners. Once I no longer became a prisoner, my time was up. You know what I mean? So I believe that that you have the power over your circumstances and environment. I just think that dig into yourself and change your environment. That's what I would tell the individual. Whatever you're experiencing and whatever you're uncomfortable with, you're supposed to be uncomfortable because that's a part of you that's fighting against that, or there's a part of you that's warning you about that, right? What you gonna do about it? Change it, and you got to change you. And once you change you, then your environment will change, and eventually, you'll get through it.
Well said.
Well said. And you spoke to me about this when we were at MusicCon last year, so this was off air. But something that Jeezy said that always caught my attention, they can lock. Jay-Z said this too. They can lock your body, but they can't trap
lock
your
mine. Jay-Z, that was one of my favorite lines. That boy said they can trap my body, can't lock my mind, easily explain how we adapt to crime. Yeah.
You learned how to play the guitar in jail, piano.
Yeah.
You really, because I was I appreciate you for sharing my stories, but you have some shareable stories, man. When y'all did You Ain't Gotta Say Too Much.
And me and Mercedes?
When y'all, I like, man, look at Mac playing that, bro.
Yes.
And running your verse.
Yeah, look, that's not easy. So I basically, full disclaimer, I passed. That's how I passed the time in prison. I wanted to make sure that I was learning. So the prison for me became a university rather than a prison. I made sure of that. That goes back to what we just mentioned about
that's deep.
Reshape your own environment. So for me, it became a university. I got up every day. I went to work. When I left work, I went straight to the band room and I practiced. They say 10,000 hours of anything make you a genius, right? I was every day in there. Piano, bass, drums. Piano, bass, drums. I was just in there because I wanted to get it. And I wanted to do something that I had never seen anybody do before. I never saw a rapper like sit at a piano, rap, and play at the same time.
That's dope, man. That's pretty cool. Well, Mac, man, we got to let you go here. A few things. CL, shouts out to our co-host CL. He usually asks people to say, man, tell the people where you're from. So, Mac, tell the people where you from, man.
Uptown, baby, New Orleans. You already know what it is. You heard?
Yes, indeed. Before we let you go, any new music coming up? I know you have an album out and your previous catalog, but anything you got new coming out?
New project coming out hopefully on my birthday, which is July 30th.
Okay, all right.
So I'm trying to drop it on July 30th. Hopefully it'll be ready. It's called SOS. I think hip hop needs an SOS right now, and that's what it's called, SOS, which also means Son of Sheila, because that's my mother's name.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's on my birthday when she had me. So yeah, a lot of things going on with that. I've finished probably about 13 songs so far. The objective is to do about 25, and then I'm gonna pick my favorite, probably 10 or 12 from that 25, and release it. So that'll be coming very soon. I got BG on the project. Okay. I got a couple surprises. I ain't gonna let nobody.
Right.
I got a comedian, real famous comedian, that's gonna be on one of the songs. We got some stuff going on, and can't wait for everybody to hear it. Can't wait for everybody to hear it.
That's big time, man. Well, he's Mac. Y'all make sure y'all look. Just go on your Apple Music, MAC.
MAC.
You pull it up. World War III. Got some of my favorite songs of his on the Shell Shock. Just a great catalog. Looking forward to your projects coming up here, Mac. Looking forward to getting you back here on the show for your birthday or around that time.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Single, man.
We got to do it.
That is for sure.
And me and you got to. We got to
get on the
America,
UP.
Y'all got him on the spot. You heard that, America?
Yeah, we got to.
Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. We got to get Mac on some. Matter of fact, I do got a couple songs on. Mac gonna have to be on the Baller Broadcaster too. I got a couple beats here for you to get on. So yeah.
Uh-oh.
And D1, I'm calling you out too.
Yeah,
you
D.
owe me a track too.
D. Hello, somebody.
Yes,
Shout out to
indeed.
D, man. I met D years ago in the prison, man. Me and D been like that ever since.
Man, that's
my dude.
I remember, bro. I remember he was
That's
going
my
to
dude.
visit you, bro, and he had so much great stuff to say about you,
That's
man.
my
And
dude.
we happy. You are a living testament of someone who could go through hell and high water. When you in the wilderness, 10,000 hours, bro. I love to hear stuff like that.
Tell me about it. Like,
Yes, indeed.
It was crazy times. That's what I would say. It was crazy times.
Oh, before we let you go, you used to come to the LSU because I know y'all would work at LSU sometimes.
Yeah.
So, man, he was telling me stories from 2007.
Yeah,
That was cool.
LSU. So we used to go clean up I was part of a crew that used to go clean up after the games at LSU. So we had like 2 officers to bring a crew, about 15 of us, and just drop us off right there in front by the stadium, and we would just go all through the campus, cleaning up and everything. And so, I remember just going on the field. We were going to the field, and I was just looking like, damn, that stadium is something serious. It's real steep. It's real steep, and I could just always imagine what it was like when it was just packed up in there.
Well, last year you missed. This year you got to come to one of the home games with us, and this time you're going there to enjoy the game as a celebrity in the suite.
I'm gonna try to go on the field or somewhere around somewhere.
You heard that, Coach
by.
Kelly? Huh? We gotta let Maggie, let Webby and all them on the field. You gotta let Mac on the field too.
Yeah, you gotta let me in there.
Louisiana made Louisiana proud.
Gotta let me in there. Guess what? I just walk in there.
Exactly. That's what
America. That's how I'm coming.
Yeah.
That's how I'm coming. Straight up.
Well, he's Mac, y'all. Y'all definitely stay tuned. Remember, go to his social media. Give me a post one more time.
Social media post on Instagram is Mac Phipps at Mac Phipps Official on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and at Mac Phipps Official on Facebook and everything.
Y'all
all
check
Mac
him
Phipps
out.
Official, baby.
Tour with Fiend coming up. Gonna be going on. Continue tour with Master P.
Yeah.
And the crew, man. We love it. Thanks, Mac. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mac. Thank you, Dr. Kendra, for coming on. Mario for being a co-host. Shouts out to Lil Chris in there. For Wes, Damian, the rest of the crew up in there. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do for our sponsors. Health Nut System. Dr. Kendra, we appreciate y'all. My man, Robert Wolf in Construction. Thank you, my brother. We building houses and building champions together. We're going to continue to do that. Yes, indeed. He building houses, construction work, you name it. He got it going over there. And look, y'all, we're going to be back here next Monday, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube channel. And, of course, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube. And we're going to keep this party rolling, baby.
That's what we're going to do.
Hello, somebody. Y'all have a blessed week. Peace.
Peace.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
trenches.